Today we're looking at a TACAN penetration and approach at Nellis Air Force Base in the DCS F A-18 Hornet. We are setting up the DDIs, so we're putting the TACAN on the right DDI and we will repeat the hood on the left DDI. Setting TACAN station 1-2 and a course of 28 degrees and reducing HSI scale to 20 miles. Okay, the objective here is to begin the descent at 21 miles, we're a little bit closer than that, but at that point we'll push the nose down and we're looking for a 2,000 feet per minute descent, looking to keep airspeed below 250 knots. This approach is not absolutely by the book. The chart is talking about a 1,350 or something like that, 1,350 FPM descent at 300 knots ground speed. I can't get those numbers to work. It might be possible to do it with plenty of practice and a little bit more expertise, but I can't make those numbers work. So I'm looking for a descent rate of 2,000 feet per minute. I will place the velocity vector short of the runway threshold so that when we come to the final approach I can decrease the descent rate to 750 or below. In fact, we touched down significantly better than that. Just wanted to talk about two things really. First will be thrustmaster warthog issues. The second will be about on speed and issues relating to that. I have an ongoing issue with rolling right in this aircraft. I suspect that's down to the throttles. I think that the warthog is just too sensitive. What I mean by that is, and I've calibrated the stick and the throttles, and what I find is when I'm pushing the stick forward I'm getting right roll, when I pull back I'm getting left roll. Now it's possible to get it absolutely straight, but you have to be incredibly careful or just incredibly lucky, and that's what I mean by sensitivity. Even though you feel you're pushing it precisely forward and pulling it precisely back, there's still a little bit of roll in there. It might be possible to reduce sensitivity through DirectX, possibly. I'm gonna have to research that. I have tried every combination of curve, dead zone, general sensitivity that I can find, and nothing absolutely fixes that. It helps it, but it doesn't fix it. So that is, you can see in this approach, I'm just quite often I'm having to just nudge it left a little bit. I can live with that as it is now, but I'd certainly like to fix that right roll, the roll on pitch. And also the pitch on roll, you can kind of work with that and deal with it, but I just like to get rid of that sensitivity. I've tried adding a dead zone through the thrustmaster software, but I don't even know whether that's switched on because it just tells you it's enabled either way. Okay, so that's the thrustmaster warthog issues discussed. Now let's get on to on speed. We're at 10 miles from Lima Sierra Victor, which is the Nellis TACAN. As you can see, landing gear down,
altitude,
flaps down. At 10 miles I'm looking to prepare the aircraft for landing, putting it in landing configuration. The final approach fix is I think it's 5.6 miles, it's 5.6 or 5.7. I want to give myself plenty of time to get the aircraft configured, so we're a little bit fast here. The big mistake you can make here is you can see the E bracket so high and you start panicking and you're pulling back on the stick, you're pulling back on the power. just look at the airspeed, look how it's ticking down. You don't need to force that. We've got plenty of time to wait for that to settle, to come down. The major issue I have here is that once you get below 160, if you're not careful, the bottom tends to really fall out of the aircraft, and I'm still learning how to handle that. So as the airspeed's coming down, what I'm doing is I'm feeding power in to try to slow that rate of airspeed loss down. It's fine if it's ticking down quickly at 190 knots, but once you get below 160, you just want a nice gentle incremental descent down towards on speed. And if the aircraft does start to sink, you've got to be prepared to bring the nose up, add some power to try to get it where you want it to be. At this point we're on speed, maybe a fraction slow, but all I'm doing now is just trying to line up the aircraft on centre line, and I'm adding or removing power to manage the descent rate. We're above 1,000 feet per minute descent, which is obviously too steep, but I'm going to start adding a little bit of power to bring the velocity vector up. Not having to do anything with the aircraft pitch, just managing velocity vector position with power. Going to be a little bit to the right here. You see the descent rate is slowing. We're not having to flare the aircraft, but we've got it touching down somewhere around 250 feet per minute. So no flare, but a touchdown well below 500 feet per minute, and certainly well below the maximum of 750 feet per minute. So I hope you enjoyed that, I hope you found it interesting, hope you learned something from it, and even if that's just about the Warthog and the problems associated with it. So as always, feel free to like, comment and subscribe.